Today we are going to show you all how to make chocolate chip cookies, and Emma will also show you how to make frosting and decorate cookies and whatnot. So there are so many recipes out there online that you can look up on Google or on YouTube, and everyone does it differently. This is the way I do it, and I'm going to show you how I do my chocolate chip cookies, and I'm going to share with you my ingredients. And so let's get started. So one of the first things that you need to do is you need to take your butter, 2 sticks of butter, which is equivalent to 1 cup. Take that out, leave it to settle down to room temperature. That's one of the first things that you need to do. Probably you should do that like an hour or two before you start baking. The second thing is, while you're getting ready, you should preheat your oven to 375. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that as well. 75. And the second thing that you need to get ready before start baking is you need to get a cookie sheet and cover that up with parchment paper. So we have that all ready and good to go. I'll put that on the side. So now I'm gonna go over the ingredients with you and we'll mix those up. So first of all, I'm gonna go over what we have in here that I already have ready. I'm gonna go over it, I'm gonna go over the measurement, and then we'll start mixing those in as well. So first thing you need is 1 cup of brown sugar. So you make sure you have exactly 1 cup of it. The second ingredient in here is 1/2 cup of white sugar. Make sure that you have vanilla as well. So we're gonna use 1 teaspoon of vanilla. As I mentioned, a cup of butter or 2 sticks of butter. It's equivalent to 1 cup. 2 cups and a half of flour. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 2 eggs. And of course, your chocolate chips. So we're gonna use 2 cups of this. So if you buy this size over here, this is exactly 2 cups. So this is you don't have to use this brand. There are a bunch of brands out there. If you buy the Costco one or whatnot, it's like a big package, which we usually buy that. But for this demo, I'm gonna use this right here. All right, and so what I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna to get this done. So usually what I'm gonna be using today, I'm gonna use the KitchenAid, or you can use the hand mixer for that as well. But for today, I'm gonna be using the KitchenAid. So thanks to Kristen for letting me use her KitchenAid right here. So if you can see it, this is what a KitchenAid looks like. All right, so we're gonna be using that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with putting the butter in the bowl and mixing that up. So the goal is to blend that in and like make it nice and smooth. So I am gonna throw the butters in there, so both sticks. So that's the first step that I do, is take the butter and throw that in there. Take the second one. So as you can see, I have the butter in the bowl right now, so I am gonna mix that. So I'm gonna start slowly, let that mix in until it's nice and smooth, and I can start mixing the other stuff in there. All right, so I just mixed in the butter. It's nice and smooth in there. You can see right there. Can you all see that? All right. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup, 1/2 cup of white sugar in there. So I am just gonna add that in here as well. And dump this in there. And I'm gonna let it mix for now. while it's mixing, I am gonna add my baking soda and salt into the flour. So the dry ingredients, I'm gonna add those together. And now I'm gonna mix my dry ingredients in here. So I have the flour, the salt, and the baking soda in here. So I'm gonna mix it all in here. And I'm gonna put that on the side for now. So the next step is to add the vanilla and the 2 eggs into the brown sugar, the butter, and the white sugar, and the bowl, I should say, not the bowl, sorry. So I am gonna add 1 tablespoon of teaspoon, not tablespoon of pure vanilla. I take that. 1 teaspoon, and I'm gonna throw that in there. I'm gonna take my eggs, put that in there as well. So you're gonna do that 1 egg at a time. Sorry, thanks, Kristen. So then I'm just gonna mix that again until the egg is all mixed in there. The first one. Okay, the egg is already mixed in there, and now I'm gonna go ahead and put the second egg in there as well. And I am gonna mix that as well. All right.
Anna would like to know if you just flawlessly cracked 2 eggs at one time.
All right. So the next step is to add your flour, which we already mixed it with salt and baking soda. So the way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna add it slowly. I'm not gonna dump the whole thing in there. So I am just gonna really just add 1 cup at a time. And then just mix that in until, like, you just gotta mix the whole thing in there 1 cup at a time. This. Just gonna do the rest of it.
That's fine. That's great to be.
So I'm gonna pause that for a second just to scrape the sides and make sure that everything gets mixed well. So. While it's mixing, I'm gonna get my chocolate chip ready. Like I said, I'm gonna put 1 cup of this at a time. It's looking good now. I'm gonna share on the old GroupMe, I'm gonna share the ingredients and the amounts that I use, so you won't have to worry about that. I'm gonna show you what it looks like right now. So I stopped for a second just to show you what it looks like right now. This is what it looks like right now before I put in the chocolate chip. This is a better look right here. This is what it looks like before I put in the chocolate chip. All right. So I'm gonna put it back. This is a bag. I said this is 2 cups, so I'm gonna put about half of the bag in here, except I spilled some of it on the floor. Put that back in there. And mix it up again for a little, let it mix for a second. It's mixing. Pause it again, put the rest chocolate chip in there. Do the sides again, so make sure that everything is getting mixed in. Lock it up again. And just mix it slowly, don't mix it too fast or whatnot. So this is all set, I'm gonna take it out and I am gonna use this tool right here and I'm gonna scoop some of it into the cookie sheet right here. But when you, So what you're gonna do is when you're placing, you're gonna make it into like what it looks like a ball into the sheet. Just make sure that you leave a space in between. Don't put them next to each other. So this batch right here will make, I think I'm gonna end up with about 3 dozens worth of cookies. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put, make sure that I leave space in between. So that way, because they're gonna flatten up and the size would be, well, I'd say this, I don't know. It's like this size of a ball, sir, I guess. That makes sense. So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna take, this is all set right now. So I am gonna take it out. This is the hard part for me. Trying to get everything. There you go. This is it right here. So I'm gonna take, this is a really helpful tool. Place that in the cookie sheet. And then you just basically, I like to leave, I would do like 2 or 3 in a row or something like that. So this is the distance that I keep in between. So I'm gonna fill this up. I'm gonna put that in the oven for about between 8 to 10 minutes. And then I'm gonna do her thing and I'll show you what the end product is gonna look like.
What temperature?
375. So I already have the oven preheated to 375.
Okay, cool.
Any other questions for Yakub?
I'm sorry?
I said, any other questions for Yakub?
Yeah, can you make sure that we can all quality test these when the building's reopened again? We just, just gotta make sure that what you're selling is right.
Definitely. I'll make sure you guys get a taste for sure. I think Andy is coming after. That's Nick's partner. He's gonna have some for sure. But I'll definitely make sure y'all get a taste of my cookies. Hopefully sometime soon. Yeah, no worries. Any other questions?
I'll just share Yakub's address and you can go knock on his door.
Any hour of the day.
I don't know about y'all, but one time I got a knock on the door at 3 a.m. Did not answer that. In fact, went to my kitchen, grabbed a kitchen knife, put it beside the bed, and then tried to go back to sleep.
So I'm gonna finish the rest, put that in the oven, and then hopefully when Emma's all said and done, I can show you the end result.
Cool. Okay. Well, while we're kind of doing a transition, so thanks so much, Yakub, for the demo. We're gonna just do a weird transition and just do a little bit of staff announcements in between. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. We just have a quick PowerPoint to share. Just get this ready to go. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So you should see a PowerPoint. So I know in those that are here right now at the meeting, some of you work in the building and some of you do not. So this is more for those of you that are working in the building currently. So I see Ash, Barat, Bilal, Kyle, Varun is on here too. So those of you currently working in the building, I know Mike sent an announcement out, but we need you all to complete the daily campus screener every day. And he mentioned this, but just to kind of clarify, the reason for that is they basically require you to do it 2 days prior to when you'll be coming in. And basically with your schedules, you all almost work every day, with the exception of maybe one day. So we just decided it makes the most sense to keep it simplest by just asking you to complete it every day. So you guys have done the screening before, you've been doing it all summer really. Those of you not in the building currently, this is, as you might have seen from other Wayne State communications, a way to verify that you do not have any symptoms, you've not been exposed already. And if you say yes to any of it, which some of our staff members have done by mistake, you'll get contacted. So there actually are checking. It's not just some form that goes somewhere crazy. It really is to keep everybody safe and to ensure, even if you're awaiting test results, so to speak, that's a question you answer too. So it's really just to make sure that we are screening people as they come to campus. Is there anything anybody else would add about the campus daily screener reminder? So again, really, if you are planning to come to campus for one purpose, you need to do that 48 hours in advance so that you're doing it 2 days before you do it or before you come. But for our student staff, we just felt like it was simplest to do it every day, knowing that you guys pretty much work almost every day of the week. So, all right, let's see. The next announcement, so we will not have a staff meeting next week. And so kind of in place of that, we do ask that you, if you haven't already, complete the Warrior Safe training. So this is an online Canvas course that was created by some of the restart committees that includes everything from here's some information from a science-based, kind of research-based lens of here's what coronavirus actually is. And then here are some protocols in place at Wayne State for staying safe. And so this is a very short training. Many of you probably will breeze through it because I know that a lot of you are kind of reading up and staying up to date on different protocols and things, particularly those of you that are in the building because you follow those protocols all the time. But we ask that you all will be required to complete it regardless when you are kind of looking to the fall, but we figured it's available now. We're not having a meeting, so you all can earn an hour by completing it next week. And so what you do once you complete it is you'll get a confirmation email. So the instructions are to forward it. If you're in reservations, just forward it to Megan Reith-Miller. If you're in operations, forward it to Michael Phillips. That way it all goes to one person as opposed to you each sending it to your kind of respective supervisors. So it doesn't take very long. You also can start it and go back to it if needed, just like our Canvas trainings that we do. But that's a great way to earn an hour for next week. And it is a requirement. And if any of you happen to have already done it, you can just forward your confirmation email to us, to Mike for ops, Megan for reservations, and we'll make sure you get kind of that hour credit for next week. So with that, the next virtual staff meeting, we are going to continue having these in July. And as Andrea mentioned in a group me a couple of days ago, we're still continuing on with the plan of like making this an opportunity for you all to share talents that you have, passions you have. And so we're still interested in any recommendations or suggestions. I know you all have, many of you have talked to your supervisors already about that, and we're working on collecting that list. But that'll be kind of the main focus for July as well, is kind of these nice little demos or opportunities to share something that you guys care about and that you enjoy. So yeah, any questions about that? Okay. So I think, Emma, are you ready?
Sure am.
Okay, we'll spotlight Emma. Or Yakub, you're not ready yet, right? Still in the oven?
Not yet. It's still in the oven. So whenever Emma's done, they should be good and
Perfect.
it'll be on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we've got Emma on the spotlight.
Oh, on the decorating side of things. So normally I would go through equipment and tell you what I'm going to use first, but my apartment has no air and it's hot and the frosting is melting. So we're going to decorate first. So here I have this lovely chocolate chip cookie. Look at that. You could just pass it along. And today we're going to make smart cookies because you're all a bunch of smart cookies. Get it? Get it? Okay. So we're going to start with, normally it would be a very consistent black frosting for the glasses, but you can make it any color you want because they're whatever color glasses you want. Mine are gray because I didn't have enough black frosting. And so the first thing you're going to do is, and I'll teach you how to fill a piping bag as well, is to make the glasses on the cookie. And I feel like you guys can all see what I'm doing. That's good. So I'm just going to do a mostly straight line, just a little bit of indentation on the top, across the cookie, and then off to the side because it goes behind your ears. And then we're going to go down below and give these glasses some shape. Kind of pull off along a line. The frosting, especially if it's melting like it is now, will really drip all over the place. So you can kind of get away with like pulling off into a line that you've already created, and that helps. A very essential tool when you're using icing, royal icing frosting, which is what I'm using right now, are toothpicks, because you can just really move it around very easily and not leave any like clips in the frosting. So like mine is dripping off the side. I'm just gonna kind of collect it with this toothpick. I'm also gonna add with the same color a little smile because our smart cookie is happy to be a smart cookie. You guys, this frosting is really starting to melt. Okay, and then I have white frosting for the middle of the eyes. And I'm just gonna pipe a nice little circle on both sides. Right here, you still see what I'm doing so far? Yeah, okay. I'll show him up close when I'm done, I promise. And then I'm gonna take the black frosting again and do a little dot in the middle of each eye. This is something where the toothpick is very helpful because you're attaching it to another frosting, he's not gonna wanna detach. So I'm using that that is really great. And then just for the aesthetic, there's even more chocolate chips that you can kind of just push into the top because it's cute. There's no other reason, although there's no other reason to decorate anything other than it's cute. So I like chocolate, so I have no limit to how many chocolate chips I will place in the front. And then if you can see, like on mine, the smile is kind of starting to drip because the frosting is super melty. I'm just gonna use the toothpick to go in and kind of fix that. And this is why toothpicks with royal icing are just like magic, because they pretty much clean up the mess, leaving very, very, very little residue behind. Hey guys, his eyes are really wonky, but there's your smart cookie. Yay. Okay, now we'll talk about what I did now that the frosting can melt all at once. So I use royal icing, which is different than what you put on a cake. What you put on a cake is like buttercream frosting and it's really thick, but what you use on cookies is very thin, it's very sweet. It's called royal icing, and the recipe I used uses only 3 ingredients. It's so easy. It's vanilla extract, egg whites, and powdered sugar. It's super easy. You can find those recipes all over the place. Really quick to make. And then you just color it with any food coloring. So some tools used in the making of this video. As you can see, I have a whole lot of things out. I decorate a lot, and so I have a lot of things. And I'll show you some of the essential staples in my kitchen when I decorate. So the first thing is this piping bag. which is what I use to have the frosting in. This is what you can put just about any type of frosting or any type of liquid ingredient that you want to pipe out in some way. So sometimes, like when I'm filling cupcakes, I'd also put like the cream in this to push into the cupcake and then fill the inside. So what goes inside of this are these lovely little plastic things, and the one bigger one just fits right inside the piping bag all the way down to the edge. And then this just screws around it to secure it. But before you put this on, you pick something called a tip. And tips look like this. They're metal and round, and they have a top that's unique. So like this one is a flower shape. This one would create leaves and certain kinds of petals for different kinds of flowers. So you put that on the plastic and tighten it up. So for all the Smart Cookie ones, I use just round, basic, normal round ones, which I have. Like this is just a round tip. It's just a circle. And that's what I use for that. And so then the best way to get frosting inside of this, because it's very messy if you do it any other way, is to put it in a tall glass and like fold it around the edge. And then you can either spoon frosting in, or what I prefer to use is actually a melon baller. This is, even though it is meant for melon, I use it almost every time I bake. It's what I use to put dough for cookies on a sheet, and it's also what I use to like scoop frosting into it, because it's just very no mess. When I click, it pushes whatever in the circle out of it, so I don't need to like have two spoons going at each other to try to get the sticky stuff off. It's very convenient. So that's what I would use to frost for the most part. There's also little tools like this where you can practice your frosting just on the top surface of it. It's really easy because you can like rotate it in your hand. It's where a lot of people like learn how to make flowers with their buttercream frosting on here, because it's just like you just wipe it off and start over, and that's very convenient. As you can see, I think, yeah, I have like a bazillion tips because you can make a lot of things in frosting. I know how to make flowers and stuff like that for the most part, but I have at least 40 tips and still don't have all of the ones that I want. So you can really get a lot of different tips and learn how to make a bunch of things. For cupcakes particularly, having cupcake holders is really important. They come in all colors and sizes. You can get mini cupcake holders and big ones, and they're very fun. This is a cake rotator, which is super essential in my kitchen. I don't use it just for cakes. I also use it to decorate just about anything. If I hadn't been zooming, I probably would have done the cookie on that too, just because it's really easy to rotate and work on whatever you're decorating, which is super convenient. This is a cake leveler. So when you bake a cake and it like is round at the top, you can use this to set a height and then kind of shimmy through it to cut off the top, so you have a flat base for your cake to decorate on. And then very essential, a good set of bowls, mixing bowls, and measuring cups and teaspoon sets. I have like 5 different measuring cup sets, and all my friends make fun of me, but then I use all 5 at one time and they're like, oh, I understand now. Sometimes you just want one going for wet ingredients and one for dry ingredients. Sometimes if you're me, you're baking 4 different things at one time and you just need a lot of them. So yeah, those are really essential items. And then your spatula is very essential. If you guys couldn't put this together yet, I like teal. It's my kitchen color. All my equipment is teal, including my beautiful KitchenAid mixer. That is my favorite thing I own. And spatula is very essential. And then this is a frosting spreader that I use on cakes. Particularly if it's up on here, you can use it like this to scrape along the edge and smooth out the edge of the cake. You can also use it on the top to smooth things out. And then on cupcakes, it's really easy to just spread like a base level of frosting on it. For the tips, they're tiny and metal and a pain in the butt to clean, but they come out with these great tools, which if you're a big smoothie drinker, you might also have, because they're a good way to clean out straws. But they're like really convenient to just push through and get all the buttercream out of them. They're really annoying to clean, I'll be honest. And then, like I already mentioned, toothpicks, and I literally have this giant box of toothpicks because I go through them like crazy in the kitchen. And that is some essential items in my kitchen and how to decorate a smart cookie. I'm going to pass it back off to Yakub. Actually, I'll ask if anyone has any questions. Sorry, I should have done that first.
This isn't a question. I like your plant.
Oh, thank you. We have a lot of plants in this apartment. I counted yesterday, and there are at least 17.
Whoa.
Emma, I have a question for you. Is the royal icing the kind of stuff that you see where people like do an outline and then like fill it in and it
Yes.
solidifies? Okay.
Yes,
I just
which
wanted
is
to
why
mention that.
toothpicks are really important, because like if I had a cookie that like I did that, like all those like Facebook videos where you do an outline and then you can kind of go in with a toothpick and fill in, because royal icing spreads really easily,
Okay.
particularly when it's hot like it is in my apartment right now.
I just wanted to make sure that what in my brain I thought it was accurate. So
Yeah, yes, it is. So the last time I made a smart cookie, I actually made a cookie cake. And so I used a buttercream to frost, which buttercream is so much easier to use than royal icing because it doesn't melt like crazy. And so it was just like a much bigger version of it in a cake form. But this is royal icing. It's very sweet, which is why it's really only used on cookies, because if you put it on cake, it'd be like sugar overload. Any other questions? Great, I'll pass it back to Yakub.
All right, thank you, Emma. So the first batch of cookies are all set and done. They came out great. So it took about 9 minutes for them to, I guess, I got them to where I wanted them. So this is actually, I'm trying to think of a way to show you all. So this is what they look like right now. Can you all see this? So this is what they look like. I am gonna take one real quick, and this is how they turned out. So they're nice and soft and.
Now you're just
Really
teasing
good.
us.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm sorry, but yeah, they turned out really well. They're so soft. Store them. I'll just like let them cool right now for a little bit, and then just put them in a container. I heard if you put out like a piece of bread in there or something like sliced bread, that will keep them just nice and moist. But if they are like hard, you can just put them in the microwave for about 10 seconds, and they'll like loosen up a little bit, and yeah, just enjoy your cookie with milk, or with, like me, I like to eat my cookies with tea. So yeah. And that's how you make cookies. Like I said, I'm going to share the ingredients and how to make it on the Allstack grouping.
Cool. Does anybody else have any modifications they do when they make cookies? I know I put oatmeal, like oats in mine, but no raisins, because I don't like oatmeal raisin cookies, but I like oatmeal cookies. And I use shaved dark chocolate instead of chocolate chips, or sometimes in addition to chocolate chips to make them extra chocolatey. Any other?
I have tried to incorporate putting pecans or walnuts, but I burnt it every time. So if anyone knows how to do that, message me, because I can do chocolate chip pretty good, but not. I don't know. I like peanut butter cookies. I can do those. I can do chocolate chip, but I can't do walnut or pecan or macadamia nut. I can't. Well, I mean, I could try, but I've burnt them thus far every time. So yeah, give me tips if you have any.
I wish I can help you.
The way that I can help. I just was away from my microphone. Sorry. You add them after you've started baking them. So like if you bake a cookie for 10 minutes, after like 7 or 8 minutes, you open the oven and then you just add them on top of the cookie, and so they'll bake, but not the same time, so they don't burn.
Interesting.
Okay, thank you. I'll try that.
You're welcome. There you go.
Any other modifications? Jessica, you have to have a different recipe, or at least your own spin on it. You're the baker.
I do. I usually add peanut butter and then chocolate chips. So it's more of a peanut butter chocolate chip cookie. or I'll do cocoa powder to my chocolate chip recipe, and then I will add peanut butter chips with the chocolate chips to make it like a reverse peanut butter cookie.
Yum.
So I've eaten 3 so far, so it looks like I'm gonna have this for myself only.
If you made 3 dozen, you could.
Yeah, this is dangerous, but
My roommates came home today and I had a giant plate of chocolate chip cookies and like 2 dozen lemon cupcakes because I was still trying to decide if I was going to show buttercream frosting. And so I just baked a ton. And they were like both really happy and also really sad that this is in our house because we will eat it.
I guess that's my next question, built off what both Emma and Yakub said is, okay, so say you make 3 dozen, right, and you're only one guy in the apartment. Can you freeze cookies, or is that like
So the
Like-
better solution actually is to freeze the dough, because you can freeze cookie dough. And so like what I do if I make a recipe, because I'm only one person, I will freeze the dough, but like already have it divided into balls. And so it makes it really easy to like, I'm craving a chocolate chip cookie in 2 weeks. I can just go throw this in and 8 minutes later I have a chocolate chip cookie. So that's a very convenient thing to do.
nice?
Agree with that. In my experience, it's not as good thawed. Like frozen dough, in my opinion, it loses some of its flavor. So I would recommend giving them to people if they're willing to take them, or just trying to make a smaller batch if you can. Because it's just not as good. It's just not as good later.
But you can always make a smaller batch.
Yeah.
I only learned how to make it like this way. So believe it or not, this is my second attempt at making them, and usually if like I make them or anybody that makes them, like we just pass them out. And that's if I don't eat them myself. So
You have a cookie drying or cooling rack, and it's only your second attempt. Like, it's good for being like organized about that. That's good.
I've seen people make them or whatnot. I help like grab this, grab that, but I haven't physically done it myself. But this is like the second time I made it myself, and it turned out really well.
Yakub, I really appreciated that you used like such aesthetically pleasing clear glass for all of your ingredients. That was good job. Good job.
I guess Emma and Yakub are ready for their own Food Network show. Or Netflix.
I'll be the backup. I just can you grab this, can you grab that, and Emma will do all the cooking. I mean, I'm not as talented as her, is what I'm trying to say.
Cool. All right. Well, anything else for today? I think that kind of wraps up for today. Thanks again to Emma and Yakub for sharing your talents. Okay. Well, everyone have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.